Hello and welcome. I'm Christoph from Foxton Hypnotherapy, and today the main question is, what is the point of anxiety? Now, all of our emotions serve a purpose, and anxiety tells us that there's something dangerous in our environment that might be a threat to you, and it gets you ready to either stay and fight, run for your life, or sometimes freeze and play dead. Sometimes it works. Now, when the brain senses danger, your sympathetic nervous system gets triggered, and this is a system in the body and the brain that is responsible for your fear response, and it's basically the way your body prepares itself to prepare mounted defense or run. Now, the activation of this system leads to an adrenaline rush. Now, this speeds up the rate which blood flows and directs the blood to places it is the most needed, such as big muscle group, such as arms, legs, so you can move more quickly. And it's done at the expense of places that are less critical, such as skin, digestive system, and other parts of your body. Because of that, some of the common signs are, not exclusively, increased sweating, skin tingling, shaking limbs because you got a surge of energy in your arm and legs, so you start to have the shake. Pupil dilation, so you get more light in, so you can see more of what's going on around you. Your brain starts to race, your breath becomes shallow, your breathing becomes shallow, and sometimes as well the digestive system shuts down and tries to empty itself as fast as it can by any means. Now, all of this is very useful in a life and death scenario. It has worked pretty well so far for us. In simpler terms, basically, anxiety and fears are very useful as they work like fire alarms, for example. Now, the problem is, in our modern world, for many reasons, the brain can get confused and just get stuck. And that's when you got an anxiety disorder, which is where you got an issue. So instead of being anxious about real threats, your brain reacts to imaginary ones or exaggerated ones. So imagine like you're in the kitchen and your fire alarm is so sensitive that even the thoughts of making a toast will just trigger it. And then the fear of the alarm triggering at the wrong time will also trigger the alarm itself, making things even worse, and so on, and so on, and so on. So your kitchen would be very safe, and it's unlikely you'll burn anything, but you won't get any cooking done. So anxiety disorder is when your brain tries too much to keep you safe. But it's done at the expense of you living your life. Now, the good news is that it can be managed, even eliminated with the right techniques and the right help. Now, it's not as simple as just snapping out of it, obviously. But here are a few tips to help you with the symptoms and make your life more bearable. So, as your body gets flooded with all this adrenaline and hormones and chemicals, a good thing to do if you can is just plain old exercise. Go for a brisk walk, go for a jog, walk the dog, punch a punch bag, whatever physical activity you can think of will be good, as it's going to burn out the excess energy and that adrenaline and all those other chemicals in your blood. But something simpler and easier is just breathing. Now, breathing is generally a subconscious process. Luckily for us, we don't have to think about breathing all the time. But it's one of the easiest subconscious process to override. And by controlling your breathing, your brain picks up on the cue that it can just calm down. So instead of hyperventilating and panicking even more, you can just break that vicious circle. And even if your main anxiety symptoms are not breathing related, you might be surprised how focusing on your breathing will help you massively as well. Now, there are two main exercises I suggest to my clients. The first one is called power breathing, and it's the reverse of hyperventilating. Hyperventilating is people having shallow breaths, a lot of intake from in the lungs, panicking, and maybe passing out. Power breathing is the reverse. You will focus on breathing out more than you breathe in, and you're gonna be breathing from your diaphragm or your stomach area. And by focusing on breathing out for as long as you can, you're gonna trigger the parasympathetic system, which is responsible for the relaxing response. And people get scared, get a fright, then they go. It's for a reason. So, power breathing, how do you do that? Some people call it the 7-11, breathing for 7, breathe out for 11. It is different from everybody. I'm more like a 4-8. So it looks a bit like this. So, breathe in. And out for a bit longer. And stop before it becomes too labored and forced. And do that 3 or 4 times, and then you're just going to settle naturally into a more natural rhythm for you. So that's power breathing, quite simple, quite straightforward. Another one, very simple as well, is called square or boxed breathing, and it's all done on a count of 4. So you breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, breathe out for 4, hold it for 4. And again and again and again. So it goes like this. Breathe in, hold it, breathe out, hold it, and again. That's simple. Practice them, see which one you prefer, and with a bit of practice it becomes very natural, very easy to do, and you will be very surprised how much it's going to impact your anxiety and your panics. Now, a bonus tip before I leave you, to help you a bit more with those ones. As you're focusing on your breathing, what you can do is just pick a spot right in front of you to just stare at. And focus on your breathing, whichever exercise you do, or just your normal breathing, that's fine. And then slowly expand your peripheral vision, so you start to take on all the space around that spot you're staring at. Keep focusing on your breathing. And then start to be more aware of all the room around you, from the floor to the ceiling, side to side to the room, until you go the whole side of the room in your peripheral vision as you keep staring at that spot. And then if you want, you can even start to imagine that you might even be able to see the room behind you. What would it be like if you could? And keep focusing on that spot and your breathing. And just by doing that, I'll have myself out of it now, you might be surprised how quickly you're going to generate a sense of calm and reduce the amount of internal dialogue that's going on in your brain just by doing that. It's going to feel weird a little bit at first, but the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it. So that's pretty much it for it today. So please like and share if you find these tips useful for yourself or for your friends, help other people relax. And if you have any comments, questions, critics, death threats, please feel free to add them in the comment section. I'll be checking them out later as well. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.